Welcome to the Music Roundtable with your hosts,
Clint,
Lyle,
Vicky, and me, Kim, where the only opinions that matter is our own. All right, so we had a bit of an issue with doing some of our recordings today, so it pushed us back a bit. So we decided to go a little off-center, I guess, tonight, and we decided to watch a musical just to take a break from recording. So we decided to introduce Lyle and Vicky to one of our favorite ones, which is Across the Universe. They'd never seen it. So we haven't discussed it yet since it just ended a few minutes ago, and
we stole a few comments.
Oh, did you? I was not around for that, cheaters. Okay. So I'm curious to see if you guys, what you thought of it.
This is the second time we've done this now because we did the Bon Jovi documentary.
But none of us had seen that.
No, none of us had seen that. So we've done this.
On this, explain to people what Across the Universe
Across the Universe is a musical story told by and with Beatles songs. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. And the soundtrack is amazing.
Yes. It was interesting, the song choices, I guess you could say.
Okay, well, first of all, what did you think of it as a whole?
It was interesting because I like the way they introduced all the cast members, and then they were together, and then they separated, and then they were brought back together, and they were all getting along at the end.
Yeah.
Not like it was before then, right?
Right.
And
did you like it?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I did.
It was different, right?
It was different.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you that. It's weird, but it's good. It's political. It's many different things.
It shows the history of when the Beatles were around and what they were going through and through the 60s.
Almost tells their story is the way I kind of look at it.
It tells the world story.
Tells the world story
with them in it. But
yeah,
because you do have to realize Beatles are from, obviously the one character is from Liverpool and stuff like this, but most of the events happening are actually a U.S. based because it's a U.S. movie.
with the draft and everything like that, like he couldn't obviously because he was.
They connected the two areas through war, in a sense, though.
Yeah.
All right, and Vicky, what did you think? You're not sure.
I don't know if I have an opinion about it just yet. I feel like it's one of those movies that you kind of have to watch a few times to get everything.
100%, to understand all the characters, where they're coming from.
Exactly, I don't have as deep a knowledge of the Beatles as the three of you guys do. So a lot of stuff probably went over my head, whereas, like I said, I'd have to watch it more than once.
I know. I was trying not to talk and tell you stuff because I was like, no, I just got to let you watch it because there's so many things we could have explained all the way through it because we've seen it so many times and we know, what's what, who's who, blah, blah, blah. Right?
I definitely want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch it a few times.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those shows that you can do that because you've definitely missed.
Oh, yeah.
I know I've missed some stuff that I'll.
But I really enjoyed the way they did the songs as well, though.
Well, that's what
it was a different take.
That was the thing. Is obviously, they took the songs, but they did their interpretation of the songs or their arrangement of the songs.
Their arrangements are good.
And it's just interesting. So there is certain songs. So the one at the end, and this is where I was what I was going to explain when someone stopped me.
Just let it flow. Let it go.
In the song, you have the da 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 da, in that. Which normally plays. They didn't do that. They didn't do it with instruments or anything like this. It's just almost a phantom sound that you actually hear, but it's not actually there.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard it in my head.
Yeah.
You know the song so well. So there's certain parts they could exclude the instruments.
It doesn't matter.
You're hearing
but
it,
but it's still in your head.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to
wrap your head around it.
Well, I guess because some of the songs I know so well, and you're listening to it and you're like, it just doesn't sound right because you're so used to hearing it
original.
But
then if you watch, that's the problem. If you watch this enough and then also have the soundtrack, you tend to think that those are the original ways they were.
Yeah. See, I have the opposite thing because I have literally on my playlist or on my music or whatever, I have all the Beatles, but I also have the Across the Universe soundtrack. So I've had times where Beatles songs have come on, and I'm going, who did this arrangement?
I'm like, babe, that's
That's
the original.
amazing. That's too funny.
You're thinking of Across the Universe the other way around, because they're just different.
That's when you know something's ingrained in your mind.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I don't know. I think I like it because it is different and a different take on how the songs came across from the Beatles compared to what someone else saw as the way they think it should hear or sound or whatever. What?
Well, it's at the end there when they were playing. I forget the John Lennon song.
Hey Jude?
No, because he was doing because he went into, I think she was saying Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
And he was singing, I forget the song.
Nothing's going to stop me
Nothing.
Yeah.
No.
And I was thinking,
now.
Change.
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, that's a John Lennon song.
Yeah.
But that's a Paul McCartney song singing
Yeah.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
And there's fighting. And I'm like, ooh. And here I'm thinking Beatles that, Lennon and McCartney,
Yeah.
they were fighting. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking of the way the Beatles were going through.
Their
And it
turmoil.
almost seems like some of the songs that they were playing were that.
Dynamic?
Yeah, because when he was singing, was it I'm the Walrus?
Yeah.
And the Hare Krishna walks by, and I'm like, wait a second, that's a George Harrison thing, but he's not singing. And I'm just kind of like, what is going on here? Like, because I knew that they all agreed to see them.
Yes.
And then
But George
during the
was-
whole Let It Be recording,
Yeah.
George Harrison had one of them there, and
he went the most in depth.
exactly,
With it.
yeah, and they didn't like his right. Like it's
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah.
I think I'm way out in left field here.
No,
but that's the way
it's-
that's the way I was
Interpreting
interpreting everything that was
Yeah.
was happening, and
Well, they did because they took whatever happened to the Beatles plus what the songs were trying to say plus other things to make it go that way, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to interpret things through that, and I think that's what I really like about it. You're definitely interpreting.
Well, what was cool about it in general is the fact that, like, they through the music. So I assume she started with the music,
Yeah.
and came up and literally told a story through the music. So one, as the Beatle fan, you get to appreciate hearing the songs. Yes, obviously different arrangements of the songs, but you get to hear the songs, but you actually get to see this visual story told through the songs. So it's not a way Beatles ever imagined. Like,
No.
songs are all from all different eras and times,
Yeah.
but it brings everything together in an interesting story. And
Yeah.
I think that's what I like. One of my favorite scenes on there is on the Come Together song, ironically enough, is even the choreography and what they did is you don't think about it, but like when, we're in a big city and you move around, everybody walks and stuff. You don't bump into people.
no.
And if you think about that, like, that's just absurd how people can't bump into it, but there's like a sort of rhythm
To the way you walk,
to way people walk in a big city and stuff without touching and stuff like this. So to have that scene where they're all like kind of dancing around doing things, but nobody's actually hitting everybody's flowing in this perfect function. And it just, I don't know, I really loved the visuals of that.
Yeah. I know when they were singing with a little help from my friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Joe Cocker type thing. And then
Oh,
you were
that's so
like,
funny. We
then you were
laughed,
like,
yeah. Just wait.
And next thing he's doing a completely opposite song.
Yeah.
And then Bono's on there too.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like you couldn't have gotten two people
Right.
in there.
I know, because I don't think we knew when we saw it the first time. I had no idea Joe Cocker or Bono was in it until we were watching it. I was like, holy crap. And then Salma Hayek is in there. Who else is in there? There's a bunch.
Well, the one
I
art
missed
person.
her.
She was the nurse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he
Who
was
is-
getting
who is-
injected,
Salma
that was
Hayek.
Salma Hayek.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, I got to watch it again.
You got to watch it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. It's definitely one of those ones. You have to chew on it a little bit.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I guess I do apologize to anybody who hasn't seen the movie. It's been out. What's wrong with you? Why haven't you seen it?
2008, yeah.
2007.
Oh my
07.
goodness.
Yeah.
But it's it's a dark scene, but the Detroit riots when they were showcasing that.
Yeah.
And did you realize what happened with the kid?
The little boy.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting how he started the song.
And he didn't finish.
And then, obviously, a woman takes over a song. You don't think about it until you see him lying in the coffin.
Yeah.
And so that one kind of pulls at your
Awful.
heartstrings or whatever.
That
But
part
it
always
was
makes me sad.
But then that song suited that gospel. Like
heck yeah.
I was like,
she
wow.
Is an amazing
okay.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And the fact that the boyfriend died in that riot, that little boy died in the riot, and the boy's brother ended up meeting the girlfriend of the man who died in the riot. Like, it's just, they all come together.
Yes, which is the song that follows it.
Yeah. Really good. I actually read too, I forgot about this until I was kind of looking when we were watching it. So Paul McCartney actually went to a screening. And the director of the film was interviewed about her screening with McCartney. At the end of the screening, I did the classical thing and I asked him, was there anything you didn't like? And he said, what's not to like? So even the Beatles liked it, like Ringo Starr, Yoko Ono. Olivia Harrison went and saw it. Yeah.
I think it gives the songs justice, like
new life,
test of time. Like,
yeah.
I was surprised they didn't do some of the older songs. They did a couple.
Yeah.
But realizing like you can only put so many songs in.
You can.
But they chose the perfect songs for some of those spots.
For the story they were telling.
Yes.
And the names of the people.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Lucy, Jude, Prudence.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, there was also obviously.
It was a good dedication to the Beatles.
It was. I love also, it was at the very beginning is for the people that were in Liverpool, they're doing the show in the Canyon Club. It's the same song that the girl is doing at her prom.
Yeah.
But it's, pretty much underground England sound to pretty much the pop kind of high school dance or whatever. But it was the same song and it flipped
It
back
showed
and forth.
two different ways to see the song. Yeah. No, there was a lot of
the arrangements on that I think were just genius.
Yeah, they were really good.
I like how they really focused on the later part though of the Beatles, even though I was saying like I'm surprised they didn't play any of the earlier songs, but it was more the psychedelic and with the Vietnam War and
what was going
interesting.
On at the time.
Yeah,
it was interesting with the war, especially like that. Really, the political part of those songs and that time. It kind of hits you because obviously we weren't around when those wars went down, right? But we learned about them, and it can still hit you in the heart, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine going through that. Don't want to imagine going through that.
No, exactly.
And it shows the two different sides because Jude is like, I don't want to fight. He grew up in a country that had already been through a war, and he knows what the aftermath is.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight. I don't want to be part of this. Yet she's like, no, we have to fight. And it's like just that dynamic too of the story. It's okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and then the character, like with the characters, like you're looking at Sadie, which is almost like Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
And then the guy playing guitar, I didn't catch his name.
Jojo.
Jojo. And kind of that Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Especially when she put on the outfit. Those. To me, that's what
it is.
Like it totally brought that into mind.
That feel.
Yeah.
No, it was. I think it was a lot of.
They're two members of the 27 Club, just for later episodes. But anyways.
Yeah, totally. Like
homage to them, like, and it was.
Yeah, I think they did a wonderful job with them, and obviously, when I first saw it or whatever, just like, oh hey, that would be Jimi Hendrix and that'd be Janis Joplin, and it is a cool homage to the actual time, and that, which I like I said, I don't know. There's so many things about it I like.
Well, and then the ending, of course, on the rooftop, and
on the rooftop was like perfect.
Yeah, like everything was just the way they did it.
The Hey Jude was good. They're both in the pub. Yeah, and just back and forth, and just like I don't know, sorrowful almost, and then coming back together. It was like beautiful. Two friends back together.
No, it was, it's just
songs tell a story.
Yes.
They do, and that's like a lot of stuff that we've talked about. There's always that story with every song.
This just
And
puts it
especially,
in the TV form.
Well, yeah, since like right from the beginning, there was always that story that person was going through or something.
And with
this year, like we kind of know what was going on with the Beatles, but it makes you think
Yeah.
of what they were going through and that time period and what people were going through, like with the Vietnam War, and then of course the assassination.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, because
two assassinations actually that year, and it's kind of it's kind of just opens up your eyes of
To what was going
A
on.
different perspective.
Yeah.
like, because then you had Woodstock after that. Like it was just, you now know why people were like against the war, and
Well, it broke them.
Yeah.
People were broken.
yeah,
And they came out of it with music, free love, all that
Yeah.
stuff, right? That was the way that they were trying to heal themselves, I think.
yeah.
Right? Let's not worry about all this other crap. Why can't we just live our lives and love each other?
Yeah, pretty much be friends and enjoy each other.
Well, because so
and
much
not fighting. or
so much
anything.
was lost from World War II, and because at the point that this has happened in Vietnam War and all this, the world was really still rebuilding after World War II.
Yeah,
So yeah, a lot of people didn't want to go through that, or the kids that were pretty much raised as either orphans or single parent because of the war and stuff like this. They had a completely different perspective on it. No longer war. War. We don't want to go to war.
No.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
I don't have a dad, or I don't have a parent, or last thing I want to do is war again. So
Yeah.
it was a complete rebellion against the society because.
Because they never should have been there with
Yeah.
the war.
With the Vietnam War,
they never
that one
should have
was.
been there.
Obviously, that's more American than anybody else. But yeah, obviously they're trying to help, the Viet Cong people or whatever, or the Vietnam people
Vietnamese.
at the time. But it was a really hard war because they couldn't tell friend from foe.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because they they experienced World War II, and then there's the Korean War, and now there's the Vietnam War, and they just enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It came out in the
do you
music.
think a 20-year-old really wants to go to war,
No.
or just say you're getting drafted? Like,
yeah, you have no
what?
choice.
Pardon me?
Yeah, because political figures couldn't get their heads out of their asses and wanted to do something that had nothing to do with them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and those songs relate to.
that
The
time.
turmoil in the time, yeah.
Well, yeah, like the psychedelic, and then of course you got all the drugs, and then you've got
Yeah.
and those when they're what LSD and their marijuana and everything, and now they're writing songs, and the
Yeah.
weirdest songs
Oh, gosh.
and happen, right? And what they're experiencing, and yeah, you just
That was part of the movie. What was that? That was the Walrus song and
Yeah.
Mr. Kite.
yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of either of those songs, but I love the movie still, and the soundtrack's still good. But those particular songs, you're like, okay, they don't really make sense, but they kind of do. I get what they were like, where they were in their life at that point. That's what you get from it.
In the back recesses of your mind, it probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Just out loud. What did you
What?
just say?
Cornflake?
Floating
What
on a
are we-
cornflake?
Floating on a cornflake. Okay. Why?
It's almost like when you're taking the drugs, you forget about what the real world is, and you're in your own little world. But it was a group of 4 individuals that wrote and played songs. You never know what's going to come out of a session like
No.
that when they're all doing
Hi.
it,
Yeah.
and they're all forgetting about what's happening in the real world,
Yep.
and they're fighting too.
Well, exactly.
Like there's an
Interfighting.
internal
war
yeah
with each other.
rift with each other, and
Yeah.
and then during, especially when what that movie's based on at that time, they were trying to write for a live concert that was happening in 3 weeks from when they started
Yeah.
and they didn't have many songs.
No, they didn't. No.
And they were trying to write songs, and people were showing up whenever they wanted. And
Yeah.
George Harrison left the band, which we find out later and get back. But
Yeah.
nobody knew what they were going through at that time.
No.
And of course, we all know what happens after that. But
Yeah. The Rooftop Sings songs.
songs, and that's the last time they play live, and they're pretty much done.
They're done. Yeah.
After that, like,
I think
one more
that's a pretty good ending, though, to their band, I would say. It's a pretty
Yeah.
good ending.
It's,
They got together. They didn't get along. They did their best to put out some songs. They did one more because they didn't want to perform anymore either. They didn't want to be on tour.
No.
They did the Rooftop thing.
Some did, some didn't. It was
Yeah.
Beatlemania wore them out.
It did.
well, yeah, because they grew
it
up
would wear
together.
anybody
Like,
out.
I don't know how old they were when they were probably 18 when they started.
They were younger than that.
Yeah,
Some
like
of them
in,
were,
in 58, 59 when London started the car. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't. Next, you know, they're playing in the cave,
Yeah.
and then they're going over to Germany, and
Yeah.
next, you know, they're in the States, and they're on Ed Sullivan and playing baseball stadiums, and like
And the world's gone crazy for them. Yeah.
Beatlemania, like
Beatlemania.
that would tire. And then all the songs they had to write, and
Yep.
like
Dance, monkey dance kind of idea. Like,
Yeah, the-
kind of pushing on them. And
We got a lot of good songs, though.
no,
oh, we did.
a lot of
Like, they were
good
very
songs.
good.
I
Like,
some weird
I
ones.
think one of the things is like between them all is there is so much talent. Like it had to come out. It just obviously the fractures is there was so much talent. It's hard to have it in one room. Like there's
We need to
egos.
save
I was going to say 4 egos in the same room, right?
Yeah.
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 We need to save some of this for the Beatles podcast.
Oh, that's going to be a different one though.
Yeah.
So,
This particular item.
Yes, I know.
but that's where it comes down to, right? And I don't know. It's just it was good.
You wouldn't
Like,
think you could make a movie
Out of-
people's catalog of music.
No,
That's what's so interesting.
and it was very well done. Like,
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah.
Like,
That's all Kim wanted to hear.
well, I want people to love it because of what it is. But if you don't like it, it's fair.
Well,
enough.
yeah,
It is a little weird.
Yeah, people to like it or love it
Yeah.
for their own reasons.
Absolutely.
It's just like I said, like we saw the idea of this long before it actually hit the theaters, and I think there was probably with getting the music or whatever, there was delays in making it. So we saw the trailer for this thing probably 2 years before it actually hit
Yeah, because it was
theater or whatever.
The release date was subject of some of the media and public discussion. The film was originally scheduled for release in 2006, and the release was postponed as editing process became extended and internal disputes arose. The film was subsequently scheduled for a wide release on approximately 1,000 U.S. screens on September 20th, 2007. In early September of 2007, Sony announced that the release would be brought forward to September 14th. With a platform release pattern starting on a small number of screens with additional screens to be added. But then the film received its world premiere on Monday, September 10th, 2007 at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Woo, in Toronto.
So that was a very limited platform release on 27 screens in the US on the 14th of September, average opening weekend. So yeah, it just gradually extended out. But it wasn't released on, so we didn't actually see it till 2008. Because that's when it came out on DVD, because it was not played in theaters here.
Do you think? I was just thinking of this. Like, if you didn't know the Beatles songs,
I think it would still.
Yeah.
It would still do
Yeah.
well. Obviously, being the Beatles songs and being songs that, like, obviously it's easier to
for us, yes.
easier for us to kind of go through it. But I think the story was done very well. So you could be someone who's never heard a single Beatles fan. I don't know rock you're living under, but you could hear it and it
Introduce new fans
Yeah.
to the Beatles.
Interesting though, like, have you guys seen Rock of Ages?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So compare it to Rock of Ages. That again came out after this, right? But it's telling a story with songs,
Yeah.
but not just of one band.
No.
So they had to use several bands to tell the story, whereas like, yeah, this one they just used one band, one catalog. Interesting,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? Like that one's still good.
But Rock of Ages was based on the Sunset Strip,
Yeah.
so that was different. Well, not all the songs, but
No, not all of them.
but that was
But that was
But
where
it
they were going
still
with.
gives you the
it's
same.
still the same idea.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
you made, it was exactly the same thing. You took songs
and made a story from it.
made a story from it. Not many movies are like that. Like, well, there was the Elton John
Rocket Man
Rocket Man. That kind of,
told his life story.
I think it's the same style.
Kind of like a documentary.
Yes, it
movie.
is.
It is. and it's
biographical?
Not. Yeah. It's.
Yeah, a little different.
Like some of them
I'd
have a
say it's
little more
similar to
dialogue
like
to it.
Bohemian Rhapsody than it is to Across the Universe.
That's true.
it is, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's about the band and it's talking about his life and going
Yeah.
through.
It just takes certain excerpts, so where, like almost kind of jump into fantasy land, and he's in one of his songs, kind of idea.
Exactly.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not telling a story.
Ironically,
about-
all movies we've watched,
yeah, all good
I
movies.
think most of them I own.
Yes.
I think the only one we don't own is Rocket Man.
Yeah, I don't think we have that one.
I know we have Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah.
Yeah. Rock
Yeah.
of Ages.
Rock of Ages, and
Yeah.
obviously this one.
Yeah. No,
But
I definitely watch it again. Like I said, I gotta watch it again because I know I miss
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Same.
It's hard to fully pay attention to usually when you're watching it for the first time, right? Because we're also just off of doing the other episodes, so like you're still kind of like thinking, right? And you just got to just
I found it
Absorb
very
it.
like it was very mellow. Like it was
It
very
is.
like, oh my god, like
it had its
Yeah, you
If
kept
you were-
saying you need to speed it up.
yeah.
yeah. I was good. It was like, wow, if you were drinking, like that would just be like if you were on something, it would you would
Especially
be
the psychedelic part.
Yeah.
you would be like totally.
and it all depends where you're kind of going in the movie.
'Cause it
would-
arcs, yeah.
It does.
It goes and obviously slows down at certain points, and then it
It goes up again.
Takes
Yeah.
off again.
Yeah.
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 But yeah.
The Prudence dynamic is one of the interesting parts of that too, where they show her love for people through song, and you don't get it at first,
No,
and then you're like,
that's right.
she wasn't looking at person A, she was looking at person B.
"That's
Yeah.
right." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just-
like a minute.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when she was in the closet, that's why Clint made a joke. That's why I was laughing. I'm like, yeah. He said, oh, she's going to come out of the closet.
Oh, that's
Dude, yes, she is.
Well, I've watched this numerous times, and I never
You thought about the fact she's coming out of the closet?
At that
Yeah.
point in time, she actually came
Come
out of the closet.
Yes, she did.
So I
Sure
thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I actually love I know there's a lot of people out there, and they get all mad that using different races and stuff like this. I think this story was told beautifully, and it doesn't matter whether they're white, brown,
Black,
red, yellow,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I think they did a wonderful job bringing everybody kind of into it.
Oh, they did. Like it was. It was very well done.
Yeah.
It was very
It
well
is
done.
across the
Gotta
universe.
have
Yeah.
everybody.
All
Gotta
you
rep.
need is love.
That's right.
That's
All you
true.
need is love.
Yeah. No.
Ba-da-da-da.
No, it was
Look, I'm a hippie in hiding.
no,
No.
no.
All right, I forgot. I hate everybody.
Wow.
Run one extreme to the other, right?
How can you come off of listening to Beatles songs and saying that? Come on now.
Because I'm also a very my music taste is the other way as well.
Well, yes, it is. It is.
And I think too, it helps like when you're a Beatles fanatic, like me, and you know the songs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see you on a couple times seeing the songs, kind of go, I don't know about
I
this
don't know
one.
if I like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I'm like,
What did you think about the fight when he came into her
Revolution.
office? The Revolution.
I really like it. It was good
That was
because
good.
It was good.
he didn't really change the song.
No,
No.
he just
didn't
used
change a
it
lot.
to.
Like maybe it slowed down a little bit,
Yeah.
but there's also two versions of Revolution too.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a slower one and then there's the one that we always hear
Yeah.
on the White Album. So you kind of,
Yeah.
okay, I think I can, but it was so well done that it was like, yeah, okay.
It totally explained his point.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Like you didn't need all the guitar work or anything
No.
like that. It was just, there you go.
Yeah.
No, like you said, it's like there were the perfect songs and the perfect moments in the story.
Yeah.
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 I'm glad you guys liked it.
No, it was good.
It's
I'll
a
watch
good
it
little
again.
palate cleanser.
Oh, well, I think
Yes.
I think we needed to watch something different and talk about something different tonight. So it was good.
It was impromptu, which is fine. Yeah.
And I like talking about stuff like this.
It gets you over the frustration of the technical problems we had earlier this episode, or earlier this day.
Earlier
Yes. Yeah, and we won't have that issue again. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah. and if we do, we've got other ones that you can watch, like Grease.
I guess I'll be watching more movies here.
Musical movies.
Well, I do have to do some research. I will be watching more of these movies.
I was just going to say, shout out to our Facebook fans. What musical movie should Lyle watch?
There we go.
What
Perfect.
should be his next musical movie adventure? Sound of Music.
I have seen that one.
You have seen that? Oh,
Yes,
wow,
I have
that's
seen that.
good. But still disappointed about Grease. Gotta watch
Yeah,
Grease.
that's. I can't even believe that.
Yeah. We can't even look at you.
But he has this one under his belt now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seen this one.
So that's good.
You can get him Grease. I think he'll enjoy Grease.
Yeah, I probably will now.
It's a little more upbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this one's a little. This is very. Best word I can use is political. It's very emotional and very kind of even toned, like through it. It's kind of like, but it does peak up.
It
and
has
come back
emotion.
down.
It's very emotional. It's a very emotional story.
Yeah, it's very hard not to sing along too much. I had to keep my mouth shut. It was very
He was singing.
I was singing.
I saw him over.
I was singing. I was singing.
First song came on. I look over. And, he's already singing.
I know. I was like, oh right, I gotta keep it like quiet. So I was like,
No, you didn't.
trying to be respectful. Everybody can hear.
See, the
I was
problem.
tapping the foot.
Yeah.
The only problem we're having, we're sitting on the other side of the room, and we've seen this, so I know every part that's coming. So it's just like, oh my god, it's coming up!
He was like so
Yeah,
excited.
there were a couple times
Just
where
like,
you got a little bit ahead of the movie.
yeah, I was like, calm down. It's okay. They're gonna see it. Just calm down. Yeah, he was a little excited.
I was excited.
You thought I was excited about this movie.
Well, there are certain parts that I like. I really like when Come Together comes on. I really like that whole just walking through the city and everything like this.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. But like I said, much like shout out back to the pick your favorite. I can't pick my favorite song on this one either. Okay, I have a
the Beatles.
problem. I like
I
music.
love too much music.
My name is Clint. I'm a musicaholic.
Musicaholic, yeah.
There's a lot of songs that I liked on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just really like the Beatles music in general.
Yeah, so what's to hate, right? Like Paul McCartney said. What's to not
Well,
like?
that's what
Right.
drew us to this in the first place. Is like a movie with
Beatles
Beatles music.
Heck yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of
We'll
like
watch it.
Yesterday, which I have to see still. But
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should.
We've watched that.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
I have it.
You have it.
I just have to watch it now.
haven't
But
watched it. You have to be if you're not a typical musical watcher, you have to probably be in the mood. I could watch musicals all day, every day.
Well, she could watch
Love it.
musical all day. I could watch musical documentaries all day.
I love musical
Yeah.
documentaries. Yeah, those are
Except for that one Bon Jovi one on Prime.
Yeah, what the heck? You made me watch crap, man. It was crap.
What Bon Jovi went on Prime?
I
It's
can't
just
remember
not very
what
good.
it was, but it was first of all like when they cut it together, like it's not an official one done. So they're telling a story, like they're talking about them, and they literally reuse the same clip like in certain parts 5 times.
no way.
That was awful.
Wow.
Yeah, like
It's almost like a tabloid version of a documentary.
I might have to find it and watch it just out of morbid curiosity.
Just so we can stand together and be like, this
Exactly.
was crap.
This was crap.
it was. I was trying to find a filler.
While we were waiting.
Well, she was
Oh,
waiting for us
okay.
to get together and watch the other Bon Jovi, and I found it there, going, "Oh, you can watch this one," and she was
No.
not happy with it.
It did not suffice.
No.
I've been
tried.
interested in watching more musical documentaries
Yeah,
or
same.
more music.
Yeah, they're good.
Like, I don't know how many times I've watched Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know.
Same. Yeah.
Rock of Ages.
You need to spread out now and see a few other ones.
I will.
Yeah.
Like,
Look for anything by Banger Productions, and he's the one that did Super Duper Alice Cooper or whatever, or something like that. But
Okay.
He's the guy from Victoria. I think I mentioned him earlier. He's the guy from Victoria, and he does obviously more of the harder rock and stuff like this. But his documentaries are usually pretty good.
Yeah, those are good documentaries. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That's quite a few.
I will do that.
Yeah, we just have to make you a list.
Just
Exactly.
I've watched a couple over the last couple of months.
Documentaries.
The We Are the World documentary.
Yeah,
That was so good.
It's very
And
good.
the Whitney Houston one.
I've not watched that one
I
yet.
haven't watched that
on
one
my
yet
list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting that you watched that one
Yeah.
first.
That's when I was sick. I was sick and I was just like, I was craving
Yeah.
something to watch.
Something
and
different.
And I watched it and it wasn't bad.
No.
It's a new appreciation for Whitney Houston and what she went through and how
went through a
talented,
lot.
the family that she came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her mom
Yeah.
used to sing through the 50s and 60s.
And
Yeah.
gospel.
The
and all that
gospel
stuff.
and then Dionne Warwick
And
is
say her
Yeah.
aunts.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
she never like
She didn't have
she didn't write
chance,
any of her
man.
music, but she didn't write any of her music. She just had one
She
of
was
those
born
voices.
into music. She had no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's no different than Elvis, though, as Elvis didn't write his music either.
No.
No,
But obviously, Elvis is that's another good show to watch or whatever. But his story is another tragic tale.
yeah, I have to watch that one. So
Oh, you've watched it yet?
no.
Yeah.
There's just so many. There
There's
is
too
so many.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, no, it gives you, I think, that new appreciation for
the
these
artists.
artists and what they've gone through. Like when I watched the We Are the World one, it gave me a total like new appreciation for Huey Lewis, Cyndi Lauper, and all that. Right? It was just
Yeah.
like, wow, I didn't realize.
Have you watched the George Michael one?
I watched the Wham one.
The Wham one, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I watched
Wham,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting too, right?
Very good. Very
Like-
well done.
Realizing what they went through to make it to the top, and then and everybody thinks that it was George Michael that did Careless Whispers, but it was actually Wham, and
It's
actually
separate
for
things, but the same, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
credited
Like we were
to
talking
George
about
Michael.
earlier.
Yeah, so it's interesting, like just watching a movie like this, or even watching like biographies or whatever, you gain that appreciation for. Like I can't stop watching the Beatles get back, and I can't,
It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we liked that one.
I've only made it through half
Interesting.
of that one so far.
Yeah. It's very long.
It is very long.
Yeah. It took
And
us a
some
while
parts
to
are
get
boring.
through it.
You want to
Yeah.
get through it, but
Yeah. But
some of the times the boring parts are some of the
That's
better
the part
parts.
you got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's,
And the way
Yeah.
they wrote stuff, and
Yeah.
Because at some points you're kind of like, oh, he's a bit of a dick.
yeah,
But you're like, but is he being a dick? Because then you see the next part and you're kind of like, you know what? He's not really being a dick. He's just trying to get shit done.
He's trying to
Yeah.
hold it all together.
You know, like,
like
it's blowing apart.
They've lost their manager and stuff, and he's trying to move forward.
Yeah.
And the others don't seem to have that same.
well, yeah. When
commitment.
Brian Epstein passed away,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was basically the beginning
They're
of the
by
end.
themselves. Yeah. They
Yeah.
had nobody to,
Yeah, and
to
he
father them.
you know,
right?
Paul tried to take the reins, and so, one, you got Ringo. Like I think every morning was there before anybody else.
Yeah,
Well,
and
and he
then
didn't
McCartney,
say
and then
nothing.
yeah.
And
nothing. Yeah.
like no, Ringo was perfect through it. Like
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm
Just-
here to
I'll
do
just
a
do it.
job, and I'm
I'll do
I'm
it.
going to do it.
Yeah.
The other two, they had the reasons, and I feel for George. It was difficult for George.
George was like the middle child.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to pay attention to him or listen to him or let him do his own thing. And John and Paul were like the couple that did everything together. They were mom and dad, and what they were doing was what they were doing.
and they were fighting,
And
so
they were
that
fighting,
doesn't help.
and that didn't help. So then he was caught in the middle, and John didn't like what George was doing, but Paul kind of liked what George was doing, and George liked what Paul was doing. It was just a
And
nightmare.
then kick
the
in,
best.
and then bring in Yoko Ono, and all hell breaks
Yeah.
loose. But that's for a different. That's a
That
different
is a
story.
different story.
I know that's a different broadcast.
Sorry, we got
Yeah,
off topic
but-
again.
What else is
really.
new? It's all part of it, but
It
what
was
else
part
is
of
new?
it, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, so there you go.
there we go.
Across the universe.
Cross that off my list.
Cross it off your list.
Or I'll be watching it again.
Cross it off your ever growing,
Oh,
ever
yes.
extensive list.
Yeah.
Boy, do I ever
Yeah,
want
for
to
every one
homework.
you watch, there's like 2 or 3 more that you haven't that you have
That's
to.
right.
I know. So do I have to take notes now too for the movies?
Probably.
Totally.
Probably.
Not the first time. You're gonna have to watch them all
I'm
2
gonna
times.
have to watch the first time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll take notes. And
First time you enjoy it.
Yes.
Now you come
And then you
get
go
back,
back
and
and
then you
take
can then
notes,
analyze
yeah.
it.
Then you analyze it.
like,
Oh no!
like I usually do.
I just realized if we do that, we're gonna get Excel files of like. Here's my notes.
Oh boy.
And watch out, you guys.
Be careful what you
Well, at least you know that I've watched the movie.
I mean, that's fair.
Yes.
You'll get either Excel sheets or documents or whatever.
Something.
Yeah.
Lyle's just sent you a new document. When am I going to read this?
That's
Why
a
did you
novel,
write so
yeah.
many? Yeah.
Lyle's sitting on the other going, make me watch a movie. You're going to read a novel.
That's right. You're going to read everything I saw about it. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you weren't here to watch it. Viewing parties are easier. Then we can just talk about it afterwards.
That's right.
Yeah,
No
it's much easier. Yeah.
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 That's
And
why
then you
worked out well.
don't get the novels from me, and then it's
That's right. Because you've already said everything.
I don't mind the
Exactly.
novels. It's just some days it's like,
Look, that's because you need to get the glasses, love.
Okay, you're not the only one.
He's just doing the trombone thing where you're like,
Yeah.
a little further, a little closer, a little further, a little closer.
closer.
Oh, now I can read it. Oh, honey, can you read it for me?
yeah. Well, I brought the DVD to the table, so
Yeah.
if we needed to talk about it, and then I tried to read that, I'm not going to be helping you guys.
Kim's going to be reading this part.
Maybe if you put it 6 blocks down, I can read it.
I will hold it here. Can you see it now?
Better now, better one, better two. I can read the up close. I just can't read the far away. So we're fine.
Together
The
we're
two of
fine.
You have perfect vision.
We do. That's what
Yeah.
my doctor told us. We're going to stick with it. But you should really get the glasses. Then you could read the DVD case.
Exactly.
So, anyways,
Anyway.
perfect. It was good. I
was
like
good.
it.
All right.
Yeah. It's a lovely movie. It's a lovely movie.
It is a lovely movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they do come out with the second one like I read. That would be amazing. Jim
Yes.
Sturgis and why did I just lose her name? What's
Evan
her name?
Rachel Wood,
Thank you. Is that right? Yes?
pretty sure.
Are you sure? You said Evan Rachel Wood. I don't think that's right, is it? No, it is. I'm thinking of someone else. Anyways, they both had signed on for a second one.
Nice.
What about
In 2020.
Joe and
No, just these two had signed on
Oh.
for a second one, but that was in 2020, and we are almost in 2025.
Yeah. So
So sadly, that may mean that it doesn't ever come
chances
to
are.
fruition.
Yeah, you never know though.
I don't
never-
think, but sometimes second ones don't.
Yeah, I don't.
So-
I wonder where you would take it. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
there's lots of songs, but what more of a story could you
It
tell
would be-
with the same characters?
It would be difficult.
Yeah, like I
You'd
think
have to do like a pre or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then even that it'd be too hard.
No, I think just
I
leave
think
it
you
alone.
wouldn't be able to. Yeah,
Leave it alone. It was perfect. Don't touch it.
Exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah.
that's
Pretty
the safer bet. As much as people would want for it, but I would think if you do it, take another collection of songs, tell a different story. As much as I like those characters in those roles, tell a different story with some new characters.
Or from a different point of view of each character, and then you have the songs.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to
Same
write that,
areas,
yeah,
but
cool.
yeah, from
It'd be
just a
hard.
different point of view though. But that would be
Difficult.
it would
it's a
be
project
difficult.
for us. That's
I
well,
know.
No, that
No.
what?
No.
Why would no? Yeah.
Why?
Death Leopard the movie.
No.
Oh Lord. No.
You know, in
No.
the hours when people are supposed to be sleeping, my mind is going to be thinking of this now.
He's going to be writing his movie. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like me writing my
Been
book.
2 in the morning. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Writing my movie.
I'm writing my movie. It's going to be about Def Leppard. Wait. It's going to be great.
I could do it. I know I could.
No. Anyway.
Anyways.
Alrighty.
On that
So
note.
on that note, yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you for this little impromptu, I guess you could
You're
say.
welcome. We enjoyed
was
it.
good.
Glad you enjoyed it too.
Yes.
And with that, we'll catch you on the B-side.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on the Music Roundtable. Please like and comment where you listen to the podcast. And make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you would like us to talk about. Until next time.